What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and today could literally go down in the history books as we are looking at a critical moment in the Senate as they're going to be voting on a stopgap funding bill. And this is why it's so critical, because in here they're going to be voting on whether or not they're going to be able to avoid a potential government shutdown and also hitting the debt ceiling, a U.S. default, which has never happened in history, and we're hearing the repercussions could be catastrophic. Now, you guys, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what they're saying could potentially happen, what it is right now the government's trying to do with that stopgap funding bill, and why we're hearing that today the vote in the Senate likely will fail, which could make history, as they're saying we could be looking at a U.S. default on our debt and the way out of this. And lastly, why is this actually happening right now, especially at one of the worst times it seems like possible? Well, I'm going to dive into all the details. This is your breaking news update and your stimulus update. Now, as you know, right now Congress is working away on those two bills, part of the infrastructure package, the infrastructure and the stimulus. And in addition to that, they're also staring in the face at a potential government shutdown and also defaulting on the U.S. debt, which, just to clarify, are two separate things, okay? Government shutdowns have happened before. U.S. government, federal workers, they have to stop working or they're furloughed or work without pay. But when things get rolling again, everybody gets back on track. Defaulting on the U.S. debt, we don't know what could happen. Nobody really knows the extent. This has never happened before, but we're hearing reports, you guys. Take a look at this. The White House is beginning to tell government agencies to prepare for the shutdown, and also they're giving estimates as to what could unfold with the debt ceiling being hit. U.S. default this fall would cost 6 million jobs and wipe out $15 trillion in wealth instantly. A third of the stock market could get wiped out. Now, also, they're saying that federally funded programs could start going bankrupt. Now, just want to take a moment to clarify for you guys on Social Security, because a lot of people in the last video got really upset at me. I literally had people follow me on Instagram just so they could DM me to cuss me out. You guys, listen, I'm just a guy on YouTube, okay? I like reading this stuff, staying up to date, and sharing it, trying to provide it to you as clear and concise as possible. I share all my sources, so I've got these news articles, but this is my understanding, okay, and I might be wrong, is that, yes, Social Security is its own separate thing. Think of it almost like a little jar full of money, and they get the Social Security tax, put the money in, they start funding it, and it allows people to pull out of the Social Security jar and you get your money. Well, what they're saying is the entire federal government could go bankrupt, no money, not be able to pay off its debt, no increase to the debt ceiling. And so, yes, you still might have some money in the jar you're able to pull out, but after a while, that might start getting reduced, or the jar might run out a lot faster than you expected. Because keep in mind, 6 million federal employees lost their jobs, so who's going to be there to put the money in the jar? And keep in mind, now there's going to be a whole lot less money going in the jar. Now, again, I might be wrong, I might be misunderstanding, but don't take my word on it. I'm just a YouTuber. I'll share with you my sources, and also I know somebody who knows a whole lot more about federal programs, Medicare, child tax credits, Social Security than I do, so why don't you hear it directly from him? Why don't you listen to Senator Bernie Sanders and what he has to say on Social Security potentially taking cuts or running out if this happens. See it for yourself from Bernie Sanders.
And let us be clear, if the United States, the largest economy in the world, defaults on its debt, it will plunge not only our country, but the entire global economy into what could become a severe economic depression. That means massive unemployment, higher interest rates, severe reduction in government services, and possible cuts in such programs as Social Security and Medicare.
Now, in addition to Bernie Sanders, we also have CNN Politics saying that, take a look, failure to raise the debt ceiling in time could halt payments that millions of Americans rely on, including paychecks to federal workers, Medicare benefits, military salaries, tax refunds, Social Security checks, and payments to federal contractors. Now, hopefully we do not find out, and hopefully it lasts a little bit longer than they expect, but right now they're saying that no one would be spared from the default if this happens, that it would be catastrophic, we're hearing, as we heard from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Now, in addition to that, though, as I mentioned, right now Congress is trying to avoid all this. They have put together this stopgap bill that will give them a little bit of gap, some time to avoid this happening, the government shutdown and also defaulting on the U.S. debt. But here's the thing. It's going on to the Senate. This is not a reconciliation process. It needs 60 votes to pass. And as you know, there's 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans. All 50 Democrats in the Senate are saying they're going to vote yes. And all 50 Republicans in the Senate are saying they're going to vote no. Take a look, you guys. Senate Republicans expect to block the bill to suspend the debt limit and avert the shutdown in a key vote on Monday, which means today they could vote this down. It will not pass, and we could be looking at defaulting on the U.S. debt for the first time ever in history. We're going to see if they can get 10 Republicans to vote in favor of this to avoid this catastrophic event. And you guys, you might be wondering, so why are the Republicans doing this? Well, hear it for yourself directly from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell leading the charge on voting no on the stopgap bill. So let me know your thoughts. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he said that we should never hit the debt ceiling, but he said they're not going to vote in favor of it, and Democrats have got to do it on their own. And just to clarify, Congress has to make this happen. Take a look, you guys. There is no backup plan. What we're hearing is that Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, he said that they can't help them with this. It has to come from Congress. Take a look, you guys.
It's just very important that the debt ceiling be raised in a timely fashion so that the United States can pay its bills when and as they come due. That's a critically important thing. The failure to do that is something that could result in severe reactions, severe damage to the economy and to the financial markets, and it's just not something that we could contemplate, that we should contemplate. I think we can all agree that the United States shouldn't default on any of its obligations, should pay them when and as due, and that no one should assume that the Fed or anyone else can protect the markets or the economy in the event of a failure, fully protect in the event of a failure to make sure that we do pay those. That's when they're due.
Good. So you guys, today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're hearing that there's going to be a vote in the Senate on this bill, and if it fails, we could be going into a potential default on the U.S. debt, something that has never happened before. Now, the way out of it, we heard Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, is if Democrats can unify and put it in the reconciliation bill. But here's the issue with that. The reconciliation process to include that measure would extend it out an additional 3 to 6 weeks to get it done. They would have to get the stimulus bill and also provide the U.S. default, the ceiling increase, which would put us out until another month and a half. And what we're hearing is that the debt ceiling will likely be reached sometime in mid-October. They're saying they believe October 15th, which is essentially 2 weeks away. That means even in the best case scenario, 3 weeks getting it done, we're likely going to be doing a default here. So this could be catastrophic. They're saying we don't know the extent, but this could be making history today, you guys. Now, take a look at this link in the description below. Senate Republicans expected to block the bill to suspend the debt limit and avert the shutdown in a key vote on Monday. This just came out today, you guys. Now, the article says that Senate is slated to take the procedural vote on Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a House-passed bill to suspend the national debt limit and avert a government shutdown, but Senate Republicans have insisted that Democrats should act alone to address the debt limit and are expected to block the measure. Government funding is set to expire September 30th, but the stopgap bill that the House has approved last week would extend funding and keep the government open until December 3rd. In addition, the measure including the debt limit suspension through December 16th, 2022. Now, the clock is ticking to address the debt limit, and Congress may only have until mid-October to act before the federal government can no longer pay its bills. And we're hearing they're saying probably October 15th, but it could be sooner, could be later. Nobody really knows. Now, if the measure fails to advance in the Senate, as anticipated due to the GOP opposition, it will leave Congress without a plan announced by Democratic leaders in both chambers about how they will keep the government operating perilously close to the date when funding will run dry and a shutdown could be triggered. Now, it's possible the Democrats could move to strip out the debt limit suspension from the funding bill and attempt to pass a clean stopgap spending bill measure quickly through both chambers ahead of the deadline, which Senate Republicans have said that they would support. But it's not yet clear what will happen. Now, Democrats do have options to raise the debt limit on their own to prevent the U.S. defaulting on its debt, but they argue that the vote should be a bipartisan shared responsibility. They're saying they don't want to do it through reconciliation. They want to get it done now with the traditional means, but Republicans are saying, nope, you got to do it through reconciliation. So you guys, it is very possible we'll be finding out today we could be experiencing for the first time ever in U.S. history a U.S. default on debt. Now, you got to ask yourself, why is this all happening? Why would Republicans and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell do this to us and put us in this situation? Well, you guys, this is just my personal opinion. Just to clarify, disclaimer, this is opinion, this is not reporting, but usually whenever we see strong resistance to something that's so obvious that people need, it usually has something to do with elections. Do you recall when we needed stimulus provisions and we needed more stimulus checks and unemployment extensions and all of these provisions? And for some reason, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and Democrats just couldn't seem to work together with Republicans to get it done, and it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed all the way out until the presidential elections. Well, usually it's because, whoever's in charge, if they don't produce something, then they will flip the power to the other party. And so what we're seeing right here, and again, just my personal opinion, is Republicans might actually be happy to see things fall apart. No infrastructure, no stimulus, no stopgap, hitting the debt ceiling, letting everything kind of fall apart. And then we've got midterm elections right around the corner. And we're hearing that it's very likely that if things aren't produced right now while Democrats are in full control of Congress, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, that it's likely Congress will flip over to the Republicans. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell would become Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. The House might get taken by the Republicans. And then we would have a Republican Senate, a Republican House, and a Democratic president who is going to be fighting against a full Republican Congress. And what we're hearing is the approval rating of President Joe Biden has been sinking to incredible lows. They're saying down to like 40% now, which means that chances are in 2024, whoever runs against him will likely take his place. So without a doubt, just in my personal opinion, this could be a move for taking control of Congress, power, and elections. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I might be totally off, you guys, but just wanted to keep you up to date and let you know that today we could be looking at history, you guys. So thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. Forgot to mention that in the beginning of the video. Just got so caught up in all of the news. Also, leave your comments. Share this out. If this is your first time here, don't forget hit the subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to date on everything unfolding. Come join the Ram fam, the viewing community. And if you got any specific questions for me, please don't cuss me out. Just shoot them to me on Instagram at SteveRam3. You guys, I just enjoy sharing with you what I'm finding, and I try to keep it as clear, transparent, and unbiased as possible. And with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Remember, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, regular uploads and also random uploads throughout the day as news breaks. But with that being said, catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.